Abe, Amos, Andrew Parker, Ben Farnsworth, Cheris Lloyd, Daniel Parker, Johnny of Stephen and Gina, Jonas, Richard P. Rodriguez, River Phoenix.
Rick Rodriguez is not the only child born into the family driven to suicide or to fatally overdose on drugs. Over the past 10 years, around 30 have died, including the actor River Phoenix, whose family were once members.
Well, Rick and I grew up together. We were born in the same country, same hospital. My mother raised us both, and I just wanted to say that if it wasn't for my family and friends who had been there for me, I can't say that I wouldn't have killed myself a long time ago.
Rick was amazing in every way. For the time in my life that I got to share with him, I have so many memories. From the first time we kissed, to the first time we got our apartment.
These are all his driver's license. I kept them all. Him as a baby. That's what he looked like when I first met him. He went through a long hair stage. He was quite skinny at the time. I always liked taking pictures of him. He always get mad at me. But I'm lucky now because I have all these pictures of him.
Rick was 19 when he met Alexia at a family commune in Hungary.
He came down the stairs, beautiful smile, and said, "What are you doing?" And then we just started chatting. He's like, "Do you know how to play cards?" And I'm like, "No." He goes, "Do you want me to teach you?" So we went up to my room. He brought some music, and we just started playing cards. I think we played cards till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And we just talked and talked. I went to breakfast the next morning, went back to my room to get my stuff, get ready for the day, and he had put a rose on my bed. And never the same after that.
After you're gone, oh Dad, it's gonna break my heart, the love you've shown to me.
With the spread of AIDS and international authorities hot on his heels, David Berg was finally forced to act. In 1986, he banned sex with children. 8 years later, a new band of altogether more wholesome disciples were saying goodbye. In 1994, he was dead.
Oh Dad, we're gonna carry it on.
God bless you. It's hard for me to quit. When I'm saying goodbye, just start fading me out because I can't quit.
Rick's mother, Karen Zerby, took over as leader. At the time, Zerby, Rick and Alexia were living in Portugal. In 1997, Celeste Jones joined them in their luxury compound.
I'm pretty sure this is the one because Rick and Alexia stayed in that room there where you see going out into the patio, but that was their room. So I'm pretty sure, I mean, that's the one because let's see. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. Wow, it's really changed. It looks like it could have been in it, but it's really changed.
Zerby and her entourage left the house in 2001. While in Portugal, increasingly reclusive and going blind, she kept a tight rein on her son.
She didn't give him much responsibility. He didn't have much responsibility in the house. And that was surprising for me because as a child, we were taught that he was going to be the leader, the next leader. I think she saw him still as her little boy and not as the man that he had become. respecting his opinions and his wishes. It didn't see that. It was more like still telling him what to think, what to feel, what to do, and that he didn't really have anything to say back.
Although paedophilia was banned, under Karen Zerby's command, wife-swapping remained the norm.
There was a prophecy given that this house was called the House of the Open Pussy, and so they adopted this phrase as this house was the House of the Open Pussy, not meaning the house and the structure itself, but the people in it, and that's how we were supposed to be. But the essence was that sex was the medium to God, to Jesus.
Wherever we went, Rick was always, you know, a topic of interest for people. And there's always girls that wanted to get a piece of him. And for me, it was really hard to share him. And here I was, you know, well, what can I do, you know? I should share him. It would be the right thing to do. It was the way we were brought up to think. And and then likewise, there were people that wanted to date me. And it was extremely hard for me because the only person in my mind was Rick, you know? It's the only person I want to be with. I remember every time just leaving the room and just feeling really gross. I can't explain the feeling. Sometimes nothing would happen, but just being in the room with that person, I hated it. I really didn't like it. And every time Rick was gone, oh my God, I'd be crying. I was beside myself, and we struggled a lot with that, a lot.
They sure fucked up our brains. Used us as slaves, because that's what we were, every last fucking one of us. No matter how we were treated, we were fucking slaves. Just there for those sick fuckers' pleasure. That's all it was. That's where it was at Grandpa and Mama's house.
Rick showed little appetite for the mantle of leadership forced upon him by David Berg. As he grew older, he became increasingly angry with his mother, rejecting everything she stood for. In 2000, with little education and no money, Rick and Alexia left Portugal and the family for America. They went northwest to Tacoma, where they knew several ex-cult members. The couple's new life began in a cheap apartment on the edge of town.
It was just waking up every morning. It was just amazing because it was just the two of us. We chose what time we woke up. We chose what time we went to bed. We chose whether we can turn the TV on. We chose what we had for dinner. We chose if we didn't want to eat. But it was our life, you know? There may not have been much to it, but it was ours. Every single time you ever discuss the topic of his past, of Karen, of his childhood, there was anger in there that I had never seen before. He'd just boil, and he would not know what to do with himself sometimes. He would start working out, doing push-ups, trying to exert his energy somehow.
The couple married. Rick found a job as a shipping clerk, and for a time it seemed they'd escaped their past. But ex-cult members began contacting Rick, pressurizing him to take a stand against their abusers. Raised to be leader, it was a role he found difficult to refuse.
People would ask him, why aren't you doing something about it? If you know the truth, you more than anybody else will be believed because of where you were. They're like, you owe it to us, you know? And here he is. He's got a good job. He's got a happy life. In his heart, he didn't think it was fair for him to have been given that second chance when there were kids out there that were hurting.
Rick's thoughts turned to revenge, and he began forming a plan. In the summer of 2004, now aged 29, he left Alexia in Tacoma and drove south to Arizona.
My mom's gonna pay for that. She's gonna pay dearly, one way or another. If I don't get to her, man, if I don't get to her in life,